Gouda and Edam, two of the biggest names in the world of cheese today. Although they're made all over the place, the originals come from here in the Netherlands. This small country is the second largest exporter of cheese after France in Europe. The trouble is, most of the cheese here is industrial. But the Dutch have a secret. They still make a small proportion of farmhouse and artisan cheeses, but they never export them. So I've come here to find out more about them.
The Netherlands is a group of 12 united provinces, and the name means lowlands in Dutch. A perfect description, considering that almost half this flat country is less than a metre above sea level and protected by an extraordinary system of dikes, dunes, windmills and pumping stations. The Netherlands is also referred to as Holland, which has long been the cultural, political and economic centre of the group. Although one of Europe's smallest countries, the Dutch are the third largest agricultural exporter in the world after the USA and France, and the country has a long history of making cheese. The locals' favourite cheese is Gouda, which is sold in many stages of maturation. What makes this cheese type particularly unusual is that it's often flavoured with a range of spices. The addition of spices began more than 400 years ago when the Dutch East India Company controlled the world's spice trade. The enterprising Dutch cheesemakers of those times clearly developed a taste for exotic new flavours and incorporated them into their local cheeses.
And this is the result. The seeds were a means of making low-fat, bland cheeses used for the long sea voyage taste better. The idea caught on, and now Holland produces dozens of varieties of flavoured cheese.
Helping me on my cheese odyssey through the Netherlands is cheese authority Betty Costa and her husband Martin. This hard-working couple have been selling local cheeses from their shop in Margerie-la-Musée for over a decade, and there's not a lot they don't know about Dutch cheese.
So this is the sheep milk cheese.
It's quite crumbly, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, though it's only 3 months old. It's not old. The texture is crumbly. It's got tiny holes in it.
I would never think that Holland, or I should say the Netherlands, makes sheep's milk cheese.
Yeah, they do.
That's
Goat
lovely.
milk, sheep milk, we do it all.
So is that a Gouda style?
Yeah, that's a Gouda-style farmhouse and 2 years old. And it's special because it's really huge. The whole cheeses weigh about 22 kilos, which is heavy for the lady farmer to produce because she has to turn them.
And raw milk?
Raw milk, yeah, sure, raw milk. I prefer raw milk.
Of course.
It's the best, yeah. But then, if you have to pay attention to your weight, I mean, some people do,
Yeah.
you'd better have the Leidse, which is from Leiden, a city not far from here. And that's a low-fat cheese in which they put cumin seeds. And that's colored with annatto and...
The shiny stuff?
Yeah, and underneath it's marked with the symbols of the city of Leiden, which are the keys.
So we're going to go there?
Yeah, sure. It's a good idea.
Good. Okay.
One of the last traditional examples of farmhouse cheese with cumin seeds comes from the western part of the country and is made by a hard-working mother and daughter team, Nell van Leeuwen and her daughter Trace. Before the hooping process can begin, cumin seeds are boiled for half an hour and then added to the warm curds. Trays begins with a thin layer of plain curd before carefully filling each hoop with the flavoured curds. This prevents the cumin seeds from poking out of the rind and becoming mouldy as the cheese is matured. Then to seal and protect the cheese, a thin semi-porous layer coloured with annatto is painted on the surface. This slows maturation and the cheese is considered just right after 12 months. Does this Leiden cheese always have the cumin seed?
Yeah.
Always low fat?
Always low fat.
And always cumin seed?
Yeah, that's the specialty about this cheese.
How do you see the future? You're going to take over the farm?
I would like to, but it's very difficult to take over. My intention is to do it by myself and have somebody to help me.
Yeah, yeah.
So I hope that will go that way. Yes.
Yeah. These cheeses are methodically turned and rubbed to ensure even maturation and no mould grows on the surface. Nel is also famous for her rich butter, which is made with the cream scooped from the surface of the milk. The cream is soured overnight and then churned for several hours before the butter is hand-packed and sold to local restaurants and markets. Nell and Trace do a fantastic job of running a small farm with only 30 cows. And between their cheese and butter, there is something here to please everyone. So you're taking the cream off the milk?
Yes.
And that's going to be made into butter, yeah?
Yes.
Real farmhouse butter. Gouda refers to a generic shape with rounded sides, but originally the name comes from the town of Gouda in South Holland. To see how traditional farmhouse Gouda is made, I visited the farm of Magdalene and Nico Kaptein, one of the few dairies to still make this style of cheese the old-fashioned way. The finest cheese is made only in summer from raw milk, and production is so small that it's been recognised by the Slow Food Presidium as endangered. Nico's father has been making cheese for almost 80 years and is still active in running the dairy.
Eigenlijk heb ik voor mijn 10 jaar achter tussen gezeten en nu ben ik 87, dus dat is heel erg lang.
He started when he was about 10 years because they made cheese at home. So at 10 years old, you had to help.
How long ago was that?
And that's 77 years ago.
Oh, that long.
Yeah, he's 78 now. 87.
Yes. Okay, so he's been working 77 years in cheese. Hey, put it there. Here, husband and wife work together to create Gouda that will mature for up to 7 years. Preparation of this exceptional cheese involves the use of traditional wooden hoops, which require constant cleaning. The coagulated curd is cut and washed twice using hot water, which helps to reduce the acidity. The washed curds are then carefully lifted in a cloth and placed in their wooden hoops to be pressed overnight. After the cheeses have been removed from the hoops, the labels of farmhouse authentication are added. They eventually end up floating in a brine solution for 5 days. The young cheeses are fitted with cloth girdles to help them hold their shape, a sort of cheese bandana if you like.
We turn the cheese every day. Then is the farm, and to dry is to make better. And we put coating on cheese every side 2 or 3 times.
Which is his favourite cheese, this one?
Wat is uw favoriete kaas? Is dat die?
Jong belegen.
Oh. No, when it's about 5 months old.
Oh, really?
If the quality is good, he likes every age. Only he likes the younger better because it cuts easier.
Ah, okay. Good for the teeth, eh?
Goed voor uw tanden, zegt hij.
Ja, nou.
Ja, dat is het.
Dat is zeker.
Ja.
Nou, ik heb mijn eigen tanden gehad tot 65 ongeveer, dus dat schrik wel. Ik heb nou natuurlijk een gebit. Maar, ja, wie heeft er op mijn leeftijd nog geen gebit? Die zal
Nee.
niet veel. En dan zie ik wel eens, hebben ze dat nog, maar dat is ook wel een
Yeah, laat maar zitten. He doesn't have his own teeth anymore, but he had them till he was almost 70 years old, and there are not a lot of people who can say that now.
You know why not? Is that tobacco? Not the cheese.
No, not the cheese.
This resilient old man explained to me some of the changes he'd witnessed in his lifetime, including how the average herd sizes have grown to over 200 head. After 3 years, the cheeses develop a wonderful, rich and creamy flavour. And after 5, they have a huge tangy bite, quite remarkable for cheese that age. A few hours' drive away in the Lunteren region, I found one Dutch farmer who's refused to expand his herd of 100 Jersey cows, and now has a 1 to 2 year waiting list for new cheese customers. Jan Dirk van der Voort's family has been working this part of the Netherlands since the Middle Ages. Jan Dirk makes a full-fat Jersey milk cheese that matures to a dense, moist texture and rich caramelly aftertaste.
Most of these Dutch hard cheeses are made with skimmed milk or semi-skimmed milk.
Okay.
You've gone the other way. You're actually using Jersey cows, which are very high-fat milk.
Yeah.
It's quite unusual to see hard cheeses made from their milk. Why did you decide to do that?
Before I started, I was the first one.
Yeah.
Everyone said it's impossible because we don't take any fat from it.
Yeah.
So that's possible, but a lot of people forget that the Jerseys give also a lot of protein.
Yeah.
And the protein in the milk is going for 5% more to cheese than with black and white milk. You understand?
Yeah.
So it's just about how many fat is in the milk and how many protein you can use for cheese.
Yeah.
So we are not producing milk from more cows. We have 100 cows and that's enough.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we keep the customers when they want to buy our cheeses. The customers that worked with us before 2 years ago,
Yeah.
and we don't take new customers.
I've come to the pretty town of Edam expecting the shops to be selling loads of these red-coloured cheeses, which we know as Edam in the rest of the world. But they just laughed at me. They tell me they don't sell Edam like this at all. It's only for export. The way Edam's sold here is in a yellow ball.
Edam is instantly recognisable by its ball shape and red wax coat. And today this mild cow's milk cheese is mass-produced in huge quantities by industrial dairies for export. This pretty old town boasts a beautiful port. And what I found really fascinating after talking with the locals was that the distinguishing red paraffin wax was only used to cover the ball in the early 1900s. In the century prior to that, Edam was exported in bright red tins. This popular export was copied centuries ago by neighbouring countries. And what's really interesting is the end result is completely different to Dutch Edam today. It's called Mimolette and comes from here near the village of Saint-Mère-Église in Normandy, France. Its origins go back to the 17th century, and it's the only cheese I know which is ripened with the help of little insects, which the French call precious little beasts. These busy little mites burrow into the surface of the cheese, aiding in the maturation process and helping the cheese to breathe. This cheese was first made because of a ban on all Dutch trade into France during the 17th century. Apparently, the French missed their Dutch Edam so much, they copied it, and the wonderful nutty Mimolette was born.
On my travels, I've just discovered another form of mimolette. This is made here at the Abbey of Chimay. It's matured slightly differently. It doesn't have the little mites, and it's got a flat bottom.
This unusual copy of Edam was developed by the monks of the Chimay monastery, which is now famous for beer. And yes, in case you're wondering, they also make a cheese rubbed with beer as well.
The first brew was in 1862 in the Abbey of Scumont, 10 kilometers far from here. And since that moment, we brew 3 different beers: the blue label, white label, and the red label. At the moment, we brew 300,000 bottles per day, and at the end of the year, we have about 150,000 hectoliters. In the past, the monks had to produce beer and cheese just to survive. Then they sell the product just to have some money for the poor people, charities, and so on. And now it's a business to have money for the charities and other abbeys in the world.
I'm on my way to a small island called Texel off the north coast, where they make a good range of cheeses with all sorts of wonderful ingredients in them. I hear they make one that includes sheep's droppings.
Texel Island is part of the province of North Holland, and 1/3 is protected as a nature reserve. Texel is home to an unusual-looking sheep breed, which is prized for meat production. But on this small island, they've been adding a variety of unusual herbage to their sheep and cow's milk cheeses for centuries.
And this is the famous Texel poo cheese. In the old days, the farmer would follow the sheep and collect its droppings before they hit the ground. The droppings were put into a big cloth and left in hot water until the water turned green.
This tainted water was then added to the milk, but I'm happy to report that modern-day cheeses I sampled were poo-free and really quite tasty. Rumour has it, though, that the locals still make small batches of that old recipe secretly, just for special occasions. Just up the road is a farm belonging to a more conventional cheesemaker named Anton Witte, who also produces cheeses using milk from his Holstein Friesian herd. Anton showed me his property and explained the significance of these specially bred Dutch cows.
Tell me about these black and white cows.
Well, those are Holstein Friesian cows. And about 100 years ago, the people in Canada and the United States, they bought the cows from Friesland, and they were sent from Holstein to Canada. And that's why they called it Holstein Friesian cows.
Because Holstein's in Germany, it's not in the Netherlands at all.
Not in the Netherlands, yeah. They give a lot of, much more milk than we had before. And they're a little bit bigger than before, and they're a little bit higher than before, but they don't have so much meat.
They look happy here.
Yeah. Well, they're very happy. They're very, very, very happy. Yeah. I'm sure of it.
Yeah.
The character of this windswept island has changed little over the past 100 years. And along with its interesting cheeses, there's plenty of old-world charm and stunning scenery to enjoy.
In the morning, milking time for the goats. It never ceases to amaze me how hard small farmhouse cheesemakers have to work. This place has been making cheese for the last 13 years, and they make an exceptional range.
Herman van Koevering and his team milk a small herd of goats and produce an extraordinary range of cheeses on their small organic farm near Delden.
Well, the more you learn about cheese, the more you love it. And each year I try to go back to France to learn more about the subject, more about cheeses, cheese making. You see, cheese is a way to keep the milk over the winter. That was how it all started. But now it's a beautiful profession, cheese making, and cheese in all its differences is beautiful. It's a beautiful way of eating also. I started in, 20 years ago when I was 27, and I finished my studies and I went to France to learn the job, to learn the cheese making. And when I came back, I started here in Holland, making soft, small cheeses. And I just started small. I had a small farm with 30 goats, and that was all. But when I recognized that it worked, that I could make a living out of it, it grew bigger and bigger. And now we are working with 3.
So this is breakfast.
This is your breakfast.
And you and your team, what happens? Do you all work every day of the week?
Basically.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
One day a week we are free. We are free. Yeah.
What about that fair that we saw you at recently, the fair of real taste?
In Rotterdam, yeah.
Was that a good experience for you?
For us it's a good experience because what I tell you, that's for us it's the best way to let the people know that we make this cheese and that people like the cheese.
Yeah. Which is your favourite cheese?
Well, this is the most young cheese. This is not really a cheese. This is the base.
Yeah.
Here it starts to be a cheese, but my favourite is this one.
Oh, this one?
This is the older goat cheese wrapped in chestnut leaf and drenched in brandy.
I'll try this one. So this is not a creamy one. This is. It's pretty powerful this time in the morning, hey?
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that experience. That's lovely. Well, thank you very much. I look forward to going back to bed early. Thank you. Congratulations on a great range of cheese.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheese in this flat, waterlogged land is much more than just the industrial Edam and Gouda found in supermarkets all over the world. Whilst the Dutch have managed to keep their best artisan and farmhouse cheeses a secret, I can't help thinking that sooner or later, the rest of the world will want a share of them too.